What's up, everyone? It's First in Flight, and this week we're welcoming a special guest to our channel, Forts Like Vana.
What's up?
We are on tour with them right now, so we're gonna do a little Q&A between the bands for this week's video. I'm gonna start off, and I wanna ask you guys, what is the favorite show you've ever played as a band?
That's a tough question.
I'm trying to think. Is this something you should answer? I should answer.
Do you have one off the top of your head?
I think for me, Michigan. We played in Ann Arbor, Michigan a few weeks ago.
Nice.
That was my favorite place, not just because I almost got shot that show before walking in, but just the crowd when we walked in. We didn't think people were gonna like us at all, but halfway through our show, everyone just started jamming out with us, and an old dude told me that was some badass rock and roll, and I was like, cool, man. Great show. So that's my favorite show I've ever played.
Sweet.
Nice. All right, so how does everybody kill time in the car if there's, a long 8-hour drive ahead of you? What are you doing to, get from city to city?
That's a good question.
That's a great question.
That's an honest question because that really tells you who you are as a person.
Well, a couple of us listen to music. Usually we'll pass around the iPod with the aux cable to put on stuff.
We also played Would You Rather for a long time.
Oh, yeah.
When we were stuck in traffic the other night.
Can I get a follow-up question here?
Yeah.
Is anybody not allowed on the aux cord?
Yeah, who's banned from aux cord? That's a serious one.
They usually kick me off pretty quickly. Because I just play by that Chili Peppers.
Patrick plays Chili Peppers and then he doesn't stop.
And then we talk about, after the show, we'll talk about the show for an hour, which is usually fun, but David is a man of few words, so he won't say much, but he'll listen very intently. Me and Richard usually take up most of the talking space.
Yeah.
I know Richard definitely takes up that talking space. That dude is the coolest dude to talk to.
What was your first tattoo?
My first tattoo, it's right back here. It says peace. It was right after I was doing some really stupid things, and I needed to just chill out. The funniest part though is after I got that, this girl I was dating at the time just bought me more tats. She's psycho, so I'm not with her obviously, but she's winning because I guess all of her memories on my arm or something. I don't know. She's smart. That's smart, evil chick, man.
Real introspective.
So when you guys are building a set and you're making a show and everything, do you guys look for certain moments, or do you guys just kind of go song by song? What's the approach when you try to make a show? What kind of roller coaster ride you go?
For sure.
Nice.
Well, it's definitely a roller coaster ride, but it's usually the same. We typically start with Danger because it has a big intro, and we've also added a really heavy outro. It's really fun.
It's a dope one, by the way. You guys should come see it.
Thank you. We also we'll put songs in a set order because of how they make us feel, how we anticipate them making other people feel, and how easy they are to sing.
Yeah. Richard and David do a lot of building the set list because they can kind of make sure, it starts. We really don't have many slow songs, neither of us do, but, we put Syringe usually in the middle because it's a little bit calmer.
Right.
Then we try now with Never Alone because we can kind of do that mosh pit at the end, or that jumping part at the end.
Yeah.
But really, we try and keep it pretty high, dip it down a little bit, and go back up.
Right.
But most of the set list has been built by Richard and David to make sure, especially with Richard switching guitars and everything that, it fits well. So,
And in general, people are going to remember what you start with and what you end
That's
with.
the realest, man.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So I gotta ask, Logan, how much have you spent on broken mic stands throughout the time with this band?
Oh, shoot.
Dude. Alright, so I've gone through quite a few. This is going to be a long story about mic stands, okay? So we had this guy that was going to be our roadie. He wanted to be on the road with us. He wanted to do all these shows with us. And the first show he played a gig with us on, he forgot one of my mic stands, okay? So I was like, man, I go through these a lot. I really needed that. So I bought a new one for the next show. I split that one in half. Broke another couple too, and then we went back to the old venue to play the show. Found that mic stand, took it back, and rest in peace, that one just died 2 days ago. But then we also keep breaking mic stands and cords. I don't know, man, a lot. To answer it up into some, there's been a lot of wireless, a lot of wired, a lot of, dude. Yeah.
I've never seen someone abuse a mic stand like this man, although it's really cool to watch on stage. It gives it a hell of an edge.
Dude, if you could just see the sound guy's face every time, they're like... But the guy last night we played at, he was definitely a little bit hippie, So he didn't realize I broke it. So that's cool.
Music stores around the country are still in business because of this band.
Diego breaks so many sticks, man. We're just, I don't know.
That's awesome.
Is there any songs that will never make it to the set list?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What
Damn, that
songs
was a
and
good
why?
question, dude.
I wouldn't say there's any new ones now that won't, but we wrote 2 songs. Really, one of them was almost sort of written before I got there. It never really meshed. It was sort of slow. Now, they had made it to the set list in the past. We played them.
Yeah.
But you're talking about the first shows we ever played. There was a song called Love Lies, and there was a song called Circles. And both of those songs were, I don't know, fine. But we played them at our first couple of shows. We just noticed we didn't get a good response. There were two. They did see the set list before, but they'll never see it again.
For sure. We have a song "Never Grow Up" on our set list. We've been ending this tour with. We've had definitely like maybe 5 or 6 shows. We'll play that maybe in the middle of the set or something, and people just don't really know how to respond to it. So we're like,
so we throw it at
we
the
love
end
the
now,
song,
so we
we're
can
gonna
just if
finish
everything
it.
goes out of tune, we break it. If we just keep breaking more things, it's cooler.
Sweet.
All right, so what I want to know, because y'all make really fun music and it's very high energy and stuff like that, but I know for me, like, we make high energy music, but at the end of the day, I listen to like calmer stuff on my own.
Oh God, I know where this is going, dude.
What do you listen to by yourself?
Dude,
it depends on the mood. I mean,
it depends honestly on the room.
yeah.
So like we all live together, and if like Diego's cooking or someone's like, cause we're trying to be responsible, you know. So like if someone's cooking or cleaning or like, you know, just kind of tidying up the place, we're gonna turn on some like tango music or like some Frank Sinatra like on the record player.
Yeah.
But I mean, Nito is constantly like Korn, Slipknot, like insert like post metal band that's like so local you've never heard of them before.
Yep.
So like all of us are all over the place, man. I think we just like to get wild. And any song that's
Whatever
gonna get you
fits
wild
right,
in that
you know?
mood. Like if Frank Sinatra's getting me down and dirty right now, I'm gonna blast it.
That's so true.
We'll
You
put
know?
some Bob Marley on the record player and we'll groove
Yeah,
out. You
yeah.
know, sometimes it'll be Kansas. Just depends on what's up.
All right, so David, you're gonna have to. Do you guys have a beat button?
Okay, go for
All
it.
right, so what's the moment like when you guys first played together, like with this lineup, and what was that moment that made you guys go, "Holy shit, this is a band"?
Ooh.
Yeah, so David and Richard got together before they got me or Pat. They got me as a drummer, and it was still just a 3-piece like instrumental. We were writing like instrumental music for a while before we got Pat. We found him on Craigslist, right? And he came in an audition. We had tried out 2 singers before him, and he was just like making up lyrics on the spot. We were in David's garage. I knew at that moment that this was the band.
That's a
right?
sign of a good
Yeah,
singer. right
It
there.
felt
Yeah,
good. It felt
yeah.
good. The rest of us in the room may not have been as
Open.
ready to commit.
It took some
Okay.
warming up.
So,
Absolutely.
so
I feel like-
Yeah.
I immediately invited Pat to our group chat, our band group chat.
They were all so mad at you too.
They were all mad. They were like,
too
"Wait,
early, bro."
Yeah,
David,
yeah.
David just goes, well, I would have liked to wait a day.
Like a day. Yeah. He wanted to wait till the next day,
That's
but
incredible.
he was in.
And for
Max pulled the trigger then, so
Dude,
that's
I
what
pulled the
it
trigger.
was.
Respect, man.
I think Richard was fine with it, but Dave was like, yeah, we usually wait, but sure.
He's over here just going like,
Yeah.
that's right, that's what happened here.
So it was funny because I found them on Craigslist. David was the one texting me, telling me to come audition, and I was figuring out, I had just moved to California, so I had no idea where Peters was. I didn't know where I was meeting up with them, but I was like, you know, whatever, I'll do it. And David, so this is funny, David texts very proper and, dare I say, a little feminine. And so
I feel that. I do that too.
when I
sometimes.
met David, I thought David was Max. And when David was like, yeah, I'm David, I was like, whoa, I did not expect that. Because he kind of texted in like nice complete sentences, really good spacing. Like
So he
between-
had a good education, is what you're saying. You
Yeah.
just weren't ready
It
for
really-
like David.
it really threw me off.
What
you know?
David looks like is not what David texts.
Yeah. And so at that point, I mean, it was clear that this was, I'd auditioned for a couple of bands already. It was garbage. And so this one was clearly the right move. And I was,
Nice.
I mean, he said, you're in. And I was like, cool, I'm in. Like, I didn't have to think about it twice
I love
either.
that.
Absolutely.
So,
Yeah, with us, man, we were best friends growing up. Just since then, we moved down to Nashville separately, but moved into like a tiny apartment together. And we met Diego on the street one morning. He was just looking really, really fresh. He said we looked really good. Like we were literally like, it was so awkward. It was like 7 a.m. on this block downtown, dude. Like, why are we awake? And
Why are we flirting with
so
the
we
strange
kept
guy on
having
the
like
road?
it was like honestly, you know, that awkward conversation that you're kind of ready to like part ways and never see each other again.
Yeah.
But we keep crossing the same streets together.
You just
You know
like
what I
walked
mean?
the same 3 blocks.
We
like,
walked the exact same
kind of
3
next to
blocks to
each
go
other.
into the exact same building, not knowing it.
Nice.
And so we were just like, oh, okay. So then we saw his drum tattoo. He's got one like right here on his arm, and I instantly knew he was a drummer. And I'm not gonna say Diego's full name on this video, but it took me 3 hours to find a guy with that name on Facebook. And so I found it, and I saw one picture of him just playing drums. I was like, that's the dude. And he said no to me 4 times. Finally had to like beg him to like play
a
a
2-hour
show.
lunch with him. It was like, yo, dude, like, so obviously you play music, you like shows. He's like, yeah, I've toured a bunch. Are you gonna play with us or what's up?
No, he said he broke
And he's
down
like,
in a van
no,
one time and
no.
slept there, and I was
Yeah.
like, that's a drummer, dude. That's the guy.
He was
Like, he's down for whatever crap I'm gonna get myself into.
He'd been road worn
I could love
before,
that.
and he was down for it. So we told him we had a show just to get him into the rehearsal
Yeah.
space.
And then we met Nito. He showed us a picture of him on Instagram, and I was like, that guy's so weird. I love that.
Yeah.
And Nito showed up about an hour late to our band practice, and he just showed up wearing like short shorts and just a biker jacket that's just seen some days. And like a button on his hat and a metal bass. And he's like, I know one note. I was like, perfect.
We played Love You Right.
And we played
and
Love
it
You
was
Right.
dope.
And he had every note wrong, but man, he got that one note right
That was
every
probably-
time.
That was definitely like that was our.
That
we
was
were playing
our
Love You
moment,
Right
yeah.
with Nito, and he's just like.
He didn't even
rocking
use an
out.
amp, dude.
Yeah.
He used like this tiny guitar amp. Like, we were just
Blowing
so
it.
set up
Yeah,
to fail,
yeah.
man. That moment, we were like, dude, I don't know what we're doing. I like it. So, I mean, kind of same thing with you guys. It was kind of like, dude, I don't know what we're doing. One person knew the exact word was yes, and everyone else was like, what? I love it.
Thanks everyone for watching. Make sure you check out new videos every single Friday by subscribing below. We'll see you guys next week with new content.